Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Wahara Kadash, double honor studio, the apostles of Great Millstone. Many blessings and salutations into the hopeful elect, the house of David, the Bayaf Dawadah, for whom these epistles are written for in these last days. Shalom to the elect. This is going to be kind of a quicker lesson. It's just dealing with the recent job report that came out or whatever. Hey, listen, man. You got the fog of war, as they say, World War III in the midst. Uh, the Chinese are bringing out that they want to implant chips into people's brains, which we know that's led by Esau Edom. Also, you got people doing debaucherous things, just to make a dollar. And the society is going further and further and further into wickedness. As it said, it would get worse before it gets better. So all these things were prophesied. That people would just delve more into wickedness, man, because they've given up on the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shah. In some cases, they never had it in the first place, but it's just a reminder to those of us that are believers, that are true believers, that hey, though things are going badly, it's not bad for us, but going in a way where the world is trembling, is nervous. We're not, because we understand the times that we're in. We measure the time. We measure out the time diligently in itself, as the scripture says. Okay, so it's not gonna be a long lesson. I just wanted to read a little bit on this, but listen, this thing is going down bad, and there's no turning back. All right, this is from the conversation. All right, it's a newsletter. And by the way, I want to say fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. You too, fair use. We were just reading this article and linking it with the Bible. It's for educational purposes only. Also, we're going to be playing a video from Breaking Point. So, fair use to Breaking Points. You want to check out their whole content? Go check them out on their page. Breaking Points got pretty good content over there. All right, so it says tech companies are blaming massive layoffs on AI. What really is going on, right? It says in the past few months, a wave of corporations have announced significant staff cuts and attributed them to efficiency gains driven by artificial intelligence. So now, what are you doing? You have a war over in the Middle East, which was prophesied to do exactly what it's doing, which is drawing the other nations in, okay? And also, as an effect to that, now the rising gas prices because of the country that they're attacking, which is Iran, Persia, they control a major amount of the world's oil output, okay? And a lot of countries are suffering because of this war. And now, because of that, they're going to be blaming America. So now people are not going to be able to get their petroleum-based products, all right, such as your hair grease, your combs, your brushes. This is on a small scale, but they make pretty much everything out of oil, and also, and now the fuel is going up. Okay, in states like Texas, it's $5 a gallon at the pump. In a lot of areas, okay, it's creeping up. And pretty much it's going to shoot up. And in California, we always use that as a reference point. It's probably up to $10 at this point. So, hey, this is all according to Yahweh Shemel Shai's prophecy. It says companies such as Atlassian, Block, and Amazon have announced they would lay off thousands of employees due to increased reliance on AI. It says the narrative these companies offer is consistent. It says AI is making human labor relatable or replaceable, and responsible management demands adjustment. The evidence, however, tells a more nuanced story. It says the automation story is partly true. Genuine disruption is visibly in specific corners of the labor market. though the scale of that disruption is commonly overstated. Researchers from Anthropic published earlier this month shows that although many work tasks are susceptible to automation, the vast majority are performed primarily by humans rather than AI tools for now. Okay. Moreover, some occupations are more exposed to displacement than others. Computer programmers sit at the top of the list, followed by customer service representatives and data entry workers. Yet, yet even within the most exposed occupations, AI use is still limited. So they're trying to put basically he's trying to put lipsticks on a what he's trying to do is put lipstick on a pig, man. He's trying to dress it up, make it seem like it's not really a pig, but it's still a pig with lipstick on. Okay, and he's he's trying not to give you too much doom and gloom. You got to give you a little ray of sunshine, but really, it's all doom and gloom for you. For us, it's just prophecy. We're not mad at it. This is Ezekiel 7:9. It says, "And mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. I will recompense thee according to thy ways and thine abominations that are in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh that smiteth." That's right. So he's hitting plagues upon Babylon the Great. Okay, a lot of people can't take or want to accept the fact that the Heavenly Father is behind the plagues that they are experiencing. Okay, verse 10, it says, "Behold the day, behold the day, behold, it is come. The morning is gone forth, the rod hath blossomed, and pride hath budded. Violence is risen up into the rod of wickedness. None of them shall remain, nor of their multitude, nor of any of theirs." It says, "Neither shall there be wailing for them." That's right. So as people are suffering, losing homes, okay, you got record in eviction rates. Okay, people are still recovering from 2020. Okay, and it's only getting worse, man. Okay, people are getting sicker, living shorter lives. Okay, Trump was talking about a 50-year mortgage program, that he was trying to introduce. 50 years? Are you serious? With this rate? Okay. The only thing that can remedy this place is a complete collapse. And that's what's going to happen. All right. It says, "The time is come, the day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for wrath is upon all the multitude thereof." That's right. So you over here rejoicing about you buying some brand new J's or a brand new Birkin bag. You rejoicing about some bullshit that's not going to be able to help you in a day of Jacob's trouble, man. But let them be in their mirth. Because like it says in Matthew 24, all right, for as in the days of Noah, they were eating and drinking, giving into marriage. Okay, they were not paying attention to the destruction that was taking place real time. They thought that this was a merry time, and they were wrong. Okay. Verse 13, it says, "For the seller shall not turn to that which is sold, although they were yet alive. For the vision is touching the whole multitude thereof, which shall not return, neither shall any strengthen himself in the iniquity of his life." Woo. So just because you got a nice big old crib, you got about 5 or 6 foreign cars in your driveway, you have a beautiful wife that you go to bed with every night, you have beautiful children, that is not going to be the thing that's going to have you get salvation in the time that you will need it. It's not going to be because you have those things. It's going to be because the Lord had favor on you. And if he doesn't have favor on you, he gave you over to things that are going to destroy your soul anyway. He just allowed you to live it up for this last little time before he destroy you. That's a scary feeling. It should be if it isn't. Okay? The Heavenly Father is moving with a ferocity. All right? Let's go to Isaiah 24. Because these job reports are people putting people in a depressed state. Okay, they can't function. Okay, they want to take themselves out. They don't understand how to navigate the troubled waters that they find themselves in currently, modern day. Okay, you don't hear women out here screaming they independent. A lot of them out here saying they don't need no man, but they know they need a man. Isaiah 24:4, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Those inhabitants are the Edomites. Okay, they're the leadership of this earth right now. That's why it's so jacked up, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants, which are the Edomites of the earth, are burned, and few men are left. Hey, and this is leading into Jacob's trouble, and in conclusion of Jacob's trouble, there will be a fireworks show, the likes that this earth has never seen. All right, they're gonna be shooting nukes from one side of the earth onto the other, and yes, this will happen during your lifetime. Absolutely. Okay. Do not let these people fool you into believing that this is not gonna happen. It will happen. All right. And let's play a little video from Breaking Points, Fair Use. Thought this was interesting, so I pray that this is edifying.
With Joe Rogan and made some comments about how nobody's gonna work anymore in the future. Let's go ahead and take a listen to that.
Cars are going to be autonomous, but there's just so many desk jobs where really what people are doing is they're processing email, or they're answering the phone, and just anything that isn't moving atoms, like anything that is not physically, like doing physical work. That will obviously be the first thing. Those jobs will be and are being eliminated by AI at a very rapid pace. And ultimately, working will be optional, because you'll have robots plus AI, and we'll have, in a benign scenario, universal high income, not just universal basic income, universal high income, meaning anyone can have any products or services that they want. But there will be a lot of trauma and disruption along the way.
So you anticipate a basic income from that the economy will boost to such an extent that a high income would be available to almost everybody. So we'd essentially eliminate poverty.
In the benign scenario, yes. So
There's multiple scenarios.
There are multiple scenarios. There's a lot of ways this movie can end. Like the reason I'm so concerned about AI safety is that like one of the possibilities is the Terminator scenario. It's not 0%. So that's why it's like I'm like really banging the drum on AI needs to be maximally truth seeking. Like don't force AI to believe a lie. Like that, for example, the founding fathers were actually a group of diverse women, or that misgendering is worse than nuclear war. Because if that's the case, and then you get the robots and the AI becomes omnipotent, it can enforce that outcome. And then like unless you're a diverse woman, you're out of the picture. So we're toast.
So the benign scenario is that all the jobs are gone.
Yes.
Then what did he call it? What scenario did he call it? Basically where everyone's dead.
Yes.
Is the other scenario,
Yeah.
which he says there's not a 0% chance. Okay, well, what percent are we talking here? Not that he knows, right? But if you talk to anyone who has been deeply involved in this technology, none of them will tell you that the absolutely apocalyptic scenario is 0%. So we're just rolling the dice. I mean, even if it's a 1%, 1 in 100 chance of complete human extinction, For me, that's too high of a risk. I don't want to take that chance, right? That seems insane. And yet,
the
Elon,
Terminator scenario. That's what
right. And,
yeah.
and there's a bunch of, there's a bunch of assumptions here too. He's like, oh, well, there won't be jobs anymore, but we are going to have a really high basic income. What indication do you have that there's any likelihood of that politically occurring? Because right now you have just a bunch of oligarchs who are consolidating all of the money and power, and they are going to find us to be, if they've made it so that labor is useless, they're going to find us useless. They're going to want to keep us around for what? For what reason? So even that is very optimistic and very hopeful. And
Yeah, actually made a great point there. Why would they want to keep you around? Because they do look at you as useless eaters. So that is correct. Isaiah 24:6, it says, therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. That's right. You're a useless eater, so we got to burn you. Okay, with intercontinental ballistic missiles. Verse 7, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, and all the merry-hearted do sigh. That's what she's doing. She's sighing on camera. Like, what? Why would you want to make that decision? It ain't up to you to figure that out. Verse 8, it says, the mirth of the tabret ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. That's right. Because they're going to be in such a mindset. They like, man, I'm trying to just make it to tomorrow. Hell, fuck that. Let me just make it to 7 o'clock this afternoon. These people are so done with this place, man. Okay? The despair is growing in their faces and in their speeches. Okay? And they're feeling that despair that the Lord has allowed to come in the midst. Okay? Ezekiel 7:10, it says, behold the day, behold it is come. The morning is gone forth, the rod hath blossomed, pride hath budded. That's right. Okay. Verse 12, it says, the time is come, the day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. And I read these a little bit earlier, so that's why I'm trying to jump down closer to the point. Verse 14, it says, they have blown the trumpet even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. So everyone's catching hell. Even the elect are catching hell. But there's a key difference here. The elect will acknowledge their sins. They will acknowledge that they need Yahushua. And when the elect does that, the Lord is going to step in and intervene. Okay? Which in a lot of cases they already are through the Spirit. Verse 15, it says, the sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. Woo! So now you get into pestilence, which we already went through and still are going through right now. And you have the famine, which is going to lead to people just basically breaking into each other's houses, fighting each other for resources. Okay, now people can't even pay at the pump. A lot of brothers, when we grew up, we know a couple of dudes that was in the neighborhood that were literally riding around on $5 in the tank at that time. That's when it was like $1 something. Niggas be riding around with $5 in the tank, man. You feel me? Shit, you go to $5, shit, you going in the negative. You know what I mean? This is crazy, but it's also prophesied. All right. It says the sword is without, and there's pestilence and famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. It says because they that escape of them shall escape, and shall be on the mountains like doves in the valley. It says, all of them mourning, every one for his iniquity. That's right. They're going to be quiet, shaking, like don't know what's going on. What's the next move? Yahweh Shai ain't giving them the blessing they need to be able to see to the end like the elect will. And they're just going, and they ain't gonna want to deal no more. They ain't gonna want to be on earth no more. Okay. Verse 17, all hands shall be feeble, and all knees shall be weak as water. They shall gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them, and shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon all their heads. It says they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh. They shall not satisfy their souls, nor fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. So your dollar, your money is going to be worthless in that day. Okay? And that's what, even though, Elon Musk is he's an insider. He ain't nobody. But he is kind of telling them some half truths, but he's an Edomite, so he's gonna tell a little something, but most of the lies are gonna be wrapped in there too. So you have to embrace the whole thing. That's what he thinks. Anyway, fair use, fair use, fair use. Check the full video out at Breaking Points. Got pretty good content.
Do you realize you've been throwing away free money every time you throw away a receipt? This little piece of paper.
So as you guys have probably noticed, we've been talking a whole lot about AI on this show and how it will impact all of our lives, how it's already impacting all of our lives. So we're very excited to have a guest today who knows a whole hell of a lot more about it than we do. Daniel Kokotello is formerly with OpenAI. He now is the executive director of AI 2027. He co-authored a paper that tries to sketch out as best as they can their predictions of the way AI development is heading. And spoiler alert here, there are some very troubling warnings contained within this report. So Daniel, welcome. Great to have you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. Excited to talk.
Yeah, of course. So before we jump into the report and your sort of projections of the future, I'd love for you to level set of where AI development is today in terms of the sort of overall landscape and trajectory of where you expect things to go.
So probably your audience has heard of ChatGPT and various other AIs like that. They've sort of exploded onto the scene in the last few years because they've finally gotten sufficiently capable that they are somewhat useful in real life for a wide range of tasks. They're getting more capable rapidly, and we can get into the details about why that is if you're interested. But the point is that progress is fast, and the AIs are rapidly becoming more capable. As a result, several large tech companies, most notably OpenAI, but also Anthropic and Google, XAI, Meta, have explicitly set the goal of getting to superintelligence in the near future. Superintelligence means an AI system which is better than the best humans at everything, while also being faster and cheaper.
Daniel, then diving a little bit into your work, what you have warned about this super intelligence is that the jump-off point of what your project has led to, AI 2027 or perhaps 2028, that you're now saying is that as these AIs begin to train each other, that the exponential growth and the potential kind of apocalyptic scenario may soon be upon us. Can you describe some of your own work and your research in that?
Yes, and before I do, I want to, again, set the context here. So, I was working at OpenAI, and people at OpenAI and at Anthropic and at Google were talking about what it would be like if and when we finally got to superintelligence. This is something that these companies take seriously as a possibility. It's literally what they're aiming to do. And it's wild. It's crazy. Like, what if they succeed, OpenAI, their internal projection, which they actually made public recently, is that they will have automated AI research in 2028. So the AIs will just be, self-improving around that time. Anthropic seems to think it's going to happen sooner, 2027. Other companies are, maybe thinking this a bit later. There's a lot of uncertainty. Nobody, including us, nobody knows exactly when they would succeed at this goal, or even if they would succeed at this goal. However, it seems to us that, they might succeed, and they might succeed soon. So we wrote AI 2027 to illustrate what that would look like if it happened. As for when it's going to happen, there's a lot of uncertainty. It could be 2027, could be a bit later. I think right now my median is more like 2029, 2030, something like that, meaning that like 50% chance it happens before then, 50% chance it happens after then. But one way or another, I think that things are going to get pretty crazy pretty soon. And that's why we wrote this scenario, to sort of illustrate what it might be like. And, you know, we wrote it based on the sorts of things that people in the industry talk about, you know. Again, the AI is self-improving. That's not just science fiction. It's literally the plan. This is what the companies are trying to do, is to get an AI that can automate that research process entirely, right? The AI is being potentially misaligned. Well, they're already misaligned now. They don't always behave in the ways that they're supposed to. And our means of controlling them is limited right now. So, you know, this is sort of just extrapolating into the future, how this might go. Obviously, the future is really hard to predict. It's probably not going to go the way that AI 2027 says, but we thought it would be helpful to sort of, I guess, get people to start thinking more seriously about this. Like people
How about Shemel Shai got the people shook, man. So I'm getting ready at the camp. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Shemel Shai, Bashem, Wa'arakakadash, Shalom to the elect.